Hi, I'm Molly Elverson. I was diagnosed with breast cancer last year, and I will be having my deep flap reconstruction here in about 2 months. And I'm here with Mercedes Lopez, who finished her journey about a year ago, correct?
It's going on 2 years, actually.
2 years, okay. So can you tell me a little bit about how your whole reconstruction journey got started?
Sure. So I was diagnosed a little over 3 years ago, and I was early stage 2, but it was pretty aggressive. So we did some chemotherapy, which helped tremendously, some hormone therapy replacement, and then I decided to have the double mastectomy with immediate reconstruction for the deep flap. And it's been a great journey. I knew about PRMA before, so it was a no-brainer to come to them, and I was comfortable with, exactly how they treated their patients and everything of that nature. So anyhow, that's kind of my journey. So I'm actually now, May was my end of my second phase of this past year. So I'm completely finished, and I'm off the hook for a while. So I've did my hugs and kisses and everything with Dr. Arishta and the staff here, but I like speaking with people and helping anyone that might have questions too.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad to have answers to our questions then. So, Mercedes, what led you to decide to have the deep flap reconstruction as opposed to another method?
Well, honestly, my, what is she called?
Nurse navigator?
Yes, thank you. My nurse navigator.
Chemo brain, right?
Yes, totally. My nurse navigator actually handed me a card and said, check these guys out. If you're not familiar with some of the procedures that are available, give these guys a call. And I kind of was familiar with the procedures, but I did assume that it was implant at first. And once I found out that deep was a possibility, I leaned towards that just because I had 3 children. I had the mommy belly, and I was active, but I thought, well, I don't know, let me check this out. Maybe this is something that could kind of do double duty and help me feel better, but also it can be my own body and not something foreign as far as an implant or something of that nature.
That's a similar concern that I had, and I've also heard that with implants, you often have to get them replaced once a decade or so, and
right.
I don't want to have to do that.
Right. When I came to my consultation here with Dr. Arishta, that was one of the things we talked about. I asked him about implants. I asked him about deep, and he said, you're young. Life expectancies are, into 80, 90 years old, what have you, considering your age now. Implants have a shelf life of about 10 to 12 years. You kind of extrapolate that over time. Do you really want to have that many more procedures? If you want to, that's fine.
Yeah.
But with deep flap, maybe you wouldn't have to have that so much. And again, just with the whole removing, utilizing my own resources to take care of my breasts, why not take advantage of that if I could?
Yeah. I guess deep flap was really one of my only options. I had a unilateral mastectomy and then underwent radiation, and because of the damage to my skin, I'll have to have that extra skin taken up. So I'm really glad that this is an option for me and that this technology exists. Because otherwise, I'd be very lopsided forever.
Right, definitely.
Yeah. So, what was it like, immediately following the procedure? I know in the hospital it was probably rough and may not remember everything because of anesthesia, but just that feeling of having such a big change to your body, what was that like?
Honestly, I woke up probably a few hours later, and I just remember I felt really heavy on my chest. I was groggy, but I was awake. Yeah. And later that evening, I got up and started, walking. And I walked all night.
Wow.
Basically.
Okay.
And was pretty much sitting up by the next afternoon by 12 o'clock.
So mobility-wise, you weren't horribly affected?
I actually found comfort in being able to sit up and not have to lay down the entire stay in the hospital.
Okay, and how many days were you there for?
I was there for 4.5 days.
Okay.
A little bit longer than I think now. What's typical now, I think, is about 3 or 4 days, something like that. But it was about 5 days.
Yeah.
And I mean, they would have to come looking for me because I was walking the halls.
So you were totally ready to go home?
Yes.
Okay, that's one thing that I've been concerned about is, you know, with such a drastic change to my body, am I going to be up for literally anything that soon? But I'm glad to hear that it's not as bad as I've got it made out to be in my head.
No, it wasn't too bad. I showered before I left the hospital. Just, you know, quick rinses and things like that. Of course, the doctors, even not even my physician or my surgeon, Dr. Arishta, but the others would even come by and say hello. And likewise with Brittany and some of the other people would come by and say hello. So there was never a day that I didn't see somebody from PRMA, which was
great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You just felt so well taken care of.
So how about, I had a unilateral mastectomy, and I now have great mobility in this arm, but it took me a while to get to that point. After your reconstruction, did you have issues with shoulder mobility at all?
I did not.
Okay, wow. So, you know,
I did
changing clothes, going to the bathroom, things like that, not a serious issue?
No, not too much. I mean, I had my husband there, thankfully, to help me, you know, to get in and out of the shower. The tub where I would I had to step over and into it. So I just had to be careful with that. I had 4 drains when I left.
Okay.
When I went home. So that's the toughest part.
Yeah.
Once those drains are gone, you turn a corner and it's a totally different story after the drains are gone. So being patient and diligent with that and recording everything that, you know, your drainage and all that good stuff, and just having that for your checkups will definitely help it make it easier for, you know, your physician, your surgeon to be able to say, okay, we can take this one and this one out.
Yeah.
So that was helpful. But it wasn't too tough.
Okay. But how long did you have to have the drains?
Mine were, I had 4 in for the first 2 weeks. The 3rd week, I believe, I had the last one removed. So I had 3 removed on the first visit back, and then I had 1 remaining.
Okay. I had a similar situation when I had my unilateral mastectomy, and I was just itching to get those things out. So
literally
itching to get them out.
Right.
But
right.
Better, I guess, the fluid to be out than in, though. So
that's correct. I share that with everyone, that once those drains are out, even if it's just 1, even if it's 2, it's a total turning point, and your mobility, your comfort, and just being able to kind of get back to making your own cup of coffee and just things like that.
So in terms of getting back to normal life after having surgery, would you say that, like, if someone was able to work from home, they would be able to do that starting about 2 weeks afterwards, or? Okay.
If you can sit up in your recliner or a couch and just kind of have your legs propped, your knees propped, maybe with a pillow underneath your leg and then kind of behind your back, you can sit and work like on a laptop.
Okay.
You know, not for long periods of time, but maybe for just a few minutes here and there. Then you can definitely, you know, check email. You can do things like that.
Okay. So even if I'm not, like, you know, able to go run a marathon, I'm not going to be completely unfunctional.
No,
So
you can definitely do it. I think I got back to checking email about 6 or 7 days later.
Oh, that's not bad.
Got my hand slapped a little bit, but I did it anyway because, you know, that's just, we're kind of creatures of habit.
I know, right?
But I think too, it's healthy to kind of do that as well, so you're not totally removed and totally doing things that you are. That's just, you know, that's how we function. That's how we help to bounce back. It's just to be able to say, okay, I did this today, and I'm good here, and, you know, then take care of yourself the rest of the time.
Yeah, that's also one thing that I learned when I had my previous surgery was that, you know, I was stuck in my house for a couple of weeks and I felt very isolated. And so this time around, I'm like, okay, no, I need to make sure I have stuff to do.
Right.
I have, like, visits with friends planned so that I'm not just stuck in my house. You know?
Lots of visitors.
Yes, exactly.
And let them bring you food.
Yeah.
Let them bring you food. That was the best part, was just having people pop in. And then again, also being able to say, probably today's not a good day. You know, so.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be days like that. You just want to totally just be you.
Yes, and this is a very valid excuse for saying no.
Yeah,
so.
definitely.
So since the procedure, have you had any feeling return to, like, your chest or the abdominal area?
I have a little, in certain areas, even now to this day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're 2 years out, and every now and then I'm sitting up typing or working on something or watching television, eating dinner, and all of a sudden I'll feel like a little bit, some nerve activity.
Yeah.
And it's kind of sometimes a little bit of a shocker, like, you know, whoa, what was that? But definitely to the touch, it's a little bit more than what it was the first 6 months.
Okay.
I think every few months it's progressed a little bit
Yeah.
more, but it's not 100% of what the way it was before.
Okay. But again, and also, how does it feel, I mean, on your body? Because I've found that it's taken me a while to get used to the new shape of my body having one breast, and I find that with the prosthetic one, I like bump into things all the time because I'm not aware of that. So did that take a while to get used to your new shape that was very sudden?
Yeah. It's funny you say that. It still does. In fact, whenever we are out with a group of friends, if we are going out now, you know, dancing or going to have dinner with friends, or I'm wearing a certain shirt with like a spaghetti strap or something, I'll tell friends, make sure things don't fall out on me, because, you know, but it's not in a bad way, but it's just, I'm not as aware sometimes of spatially about what's happening here.
Yeah.
Even working out and things like that with sports bras, and it just, you know, kind of having a little bit extra adjustment. But you're
Yeah.
right, I've totally walked into doors.
Okay.
You know, a pantry door, and then just, ow!
Yeah.
You know, and it's not really that it hurt, it's just that it just barely got you, you know, but it's a little different.
Okay.
It's a little different.
Have you had an opportunity to buy a new wardrobe and all that, or?
I have.
Okay.
A little bit at a time.
Yeah.
A little bit at a time, just getting comfortable with different things, different materials. I'm finding that is really, I never thought about that. That's something I would have worn before is different than what I would go to now.
Yeah.
Definitely more breathable things. I don't know why, just it's not as heavy. It's, you know, it just breathes better. So wardrobe's fun. It's been fun. It's been fun kind of, you know, deciding what I want to look for and trying different things on to see what it looks like.
And after deep flap, can you just wear a regular bra, or do you need, okay. I wasn't sure if, I don't know, my new boobs would be any different than the old ones in terms of keeping them under control.
We always, you're right, but we always have one that's bigger than another.
Yeah.
There are two different shapes. It's interesting because I have had to try a few different bras, and I have, you know, you need different support than what I had before. Even though the size might not be much different, the cup is different.
Okay.
And so that's taken a little bit of trial and error, and so not spending a lot of money on, you know, certain brands or certain types of under you know, underwire, you know, all that. You'll find out kind of what works for you.
Yeah.
So I recommend not spending a lot of money at first, because you really want to find something that fits right and that you feel comfortable in.
Yeah.
There's some great places that we can go to get fitted and all of that good stuff, and some of them are very well trained to help us with, you know, with our undergarments
That's
too.
great. So you're not just, you know, imagining running into Target and being like, none of these are going to work. So.
And I still do it.
Yeah.
You know, I still do it. I still go and I pull something off the hanger now, and I'll look at it, and I'll feel also how thick the material is, because I don't want a lot of padding anymore like I may have used to.
Yeah.
Because then they're like really going to be out here. And so I always check that now, and it's just interesting how now I shop a little bit differently, because now I know what I need versus what I want.
Yeah.
It's something different. So
That makes sense. So with the flap removal, do you have any issues remaining with your stomach or that skin at all? Is it like tight, or do you feel like there's any issues with your stomach muscles?
no, and you asked me about feeling there too, and the feeling is it's a little numb in places, but it doesn't hurt,
Okay.
and there's not any scar tissue that hurts me or anything like that. I have increased my physical activity quite a bit in the last 6 to 8 months. So that I do feel some tightness, but I think it's the result of everything fusing back together and really, you know, having that strong core, both in the front of our abdominals, but also in the back. So I think that's important. I think a lot of times people just are so focused on the your
Abs,
abdominals,
yeah.
but you really have to have try to build some strength as well in your back and your core.
Yeah. Well, have you seen many changes in your new breasts since you've been exercising more? I mean, I don't know if you've lost or gained any weight in that period, but has it made any difference in your chest?
No, but I think they look bigger.
Oh, okay.
Because when you slim in the
Yeah.
middle, then they kind of tend to look. I know I'm definitely curvier
Yeah.
than ever before, just because your silhouette changes.
Mhm.
It's amazing what happens. But I haven't noticed any change since probably it was in November till now. I've gone down a few more pounds, and I haven't noticed any change in this actual size of my breast. That hasn't
Okay.
really changed much.
That was one thing I was concerned about, was like, if we move all this fat up there, if I lose weight, are these just going to deflate?
No, I think
So-
where you'll lose it is going to be here, like around your back. That may change the circumference, but I don't know that it hasn't changed necessarily here in the front.
Okay. So about how long did it take you to get back to the point where you felt comfortable exercising and doing things like that?
That is a really good question. That took me a solid 6 months.
Yeah.
And when I say getting back into it, is walking, stretching. I did not do any high intensity training of any sort, anything like that. I really just stayed mobile. I just stayed active, lots of walking, staying hydrated. I made sure that, I was getting good protein and good nutrition in, because I wasn't working out as I would have before. But I did feel that I was being I was consistently moving.
Okay.
I guess if that answers your question.
Yeah, no, definitely it does. Because I mean, I know I'm not going to be, stuck in bed for months on end, but it's like, at what point am I going to be able to, I beat cancer. I want to go get on with my life.
That's right.
So,
That's right.
yeah.
Well, and I think too, a lot of it is in here.
That's
So
true.
it's when you're ready. I probably could have pushed a little more, but I didn't feel. It's got to be comfortable for you, and there has to be a trigger for you to say, okay, I'm ready. I'm going to go do this now. And it probably was closer to a year before I really said, okay, now I'm going to the gym. Now I'm going to get up and go do a class. It really is about when you're ready.
Yeah.
And I'm fine. I mean, I'm like all over it. Let's go. Let's go run. I've never been a runner ever.
I haven't either. That's one thing I'm looking forward to, is having more manageable size boobs. And so, yeah.
So now it's fun. It's, I love it. I can go work out for an hour and a half or two and be active and not winded and not feel so, they're not cumbersome at all. Actually, I'll say that.
Well, that's good.
I don't feel they are.
That was another thing I was wondering, is like, I don't know. I mean, if I grab my stomach, it feels like kind of basically a bag of fat. And so I'm wondering, so they feel like boobs to you now, though? Like it feels like part of your body?
Oh, yeah.
Because I was wondering, is it going to feel like I have just bean bags or something stuck to my chest? But it gets normal.
It gets normal. Normal, the new normal.
New normal, as normal as it can be.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Have you had any major issues with scarring at all? Or how has that been?
No. It's pretty much gone.
Really?
I mean,
Okay.
you could see it.
Yeah?
But it's not so dramatic or anything like that, but it's now if I were to wear a bikini, a two-piece, and have a lower bottom, bikini bottom, then you might be able to see it,
Yeah.
but otherwise you would never
You never know.
know. And that's including, the scarring here as well. There's, I mean, it's practically gone.
Oh, wow. That's impressive. So, is there anything that you learned from having breast reconstruction that you really want to share with other people?
That's a good question. I think for so many years and so long, people just, and still didn't realize that there's so many opportunities and so many wonderful caregivers that can help us. And I think we're fortunate that we have been blessed to be in a place where we are, to be able to share that but it has to be the right decision for that person as well.
That's true.
Just considering, do your research, but don't overread.
Yeah.
Overanalyze and overread, because it can really be a lot. I definitely feel like being able to connect with people that have been in the situation before, whether it's in Facebook groups or online or through your doctor or your patient advocate or guest and nurse patient coordinator, whatever it is. I know that there's a way that you can get more information that you're looking for rather than just going online. So I would say, don't just go online and find that information, but find a way that you're comfortable with receiving information from someone that has either gone through it before or someone that has a lot of experience with many types of patients.
Yeah. I said before that I feel like breast cancer is the sorority that we never wanted to be a part of. And
Very true.
we've all got something in common now. I mean, women from all ages, all walks of life get this disease, and we're all linked together because of it, though.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So is there anything that you'd wished you'd known prior to having reconstruction, like so that you could have done something differently or been more prepared?
Not necessarily as far as for the surgical part of it. Obviously, especially with females that have families and careers and jobs, just feeling like you're ready, and like we're always trying to have everything taken care of and checking off boxes before we go in to have any type of surgeries, because then we're going to be out of pocket for a little bit. So I think the biggest thing is to try to be as organized as you can. But it can be really hard to juggle everything.
Yeah.
But number one is your health. Do the dishes get done? Are the kids fed? Is the homework done? Are the bills paid? Those things are so important. But we also have to remember to take care of ourselves and make sure that we are doing what we need to do for us before we go into a vulnerable state like that.
Yeah.
Because being in that vulnerable state is scary.
Yes.
Because we're not used to that. We are used to getting things done.
Mhm.
And when you can't do that, it can be very intimidating, and you can kind of do some second guessing.
Yeah.
Allow people to help you. You just allow people to help you. I was fortunate in, the career, the job that I had so many great people that were willing to help, that, set up a meal train and donated food and came by the house and brought snacks for the kids. And this was before, during, and after. And so allow people to help you. It makes them feel good too.
Yeah,
it's not
it
just for
does.
you. It's not just for us. It's for other people to be able to feel like they're helping.
Yeah.
And so allow them to help you when they can. And it just really makes it. It also makes people feel included.
Yeah.
If you have a partner, if you have a spouse, allow them to help you if they're willing to help you, because I think that makes such a big difference in the recovery of everyone. Because
Yeah.
we don't just go through it by ourselves. We go through it with our spouse, with our children, our coworkers, our
Yeah.
friends, our family. We're all affected by it. So another thing that I wanted to mention is there's a couple of support groups here locally, which are Pink Warrior Angels, which are awesome. Basically, you can get assigned to another person that's been through their own journey. And they can reach out to you, kind of be a support, answer questions, things like that, help you just become as prepared as possible.
Yeah.
But also just to kind of have someone to lean on and answer questions when you have that. So it's a small community of people. It's for those that are, kind of, hey, I have some questions, and you kind of get linked up with someone. I know within the first 30 to 45 days after my diagnosis, I already had a few people that were checking on me.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what to expect. I didn't even know what was around the corner. I was still in shock. But I just know that those people that called me and that left messages, and I think a few people sent me a book and like a wrap and bracelets. I mean, just these different things. It was just reaching out. So that resource is awesome. And then also The other one is the Overcomers. And
They brought me a Christmas present.
oh, well, I went to the fundraiser for them this past year and was invited by Terry. And I tell you what, it was just amazing because that is for those of us that after everything's completed, you know, after your journey and you're trying to get back into that normalcy. How are we affected by that and being able to get back into life after cancer? And it was just amazing. It's an amazing group of women that can guide each other through their own experiences and just getting back to who you are afterwards, because we're different. You are definitely different afterwards, and it's just a really nice group of people that support each other in a way that it's okay to not be okay because things are different, but you will be okay.
Yeah.
And you have a safe place to be able to share those things with since you've gone through all of your journey. So it's a really great organization also.
That's a great opportunity. I think they also have workshops for caregivers and or husbands specifically,
Yes.
which
they do.
seems to be a very underserved group of people.
So, and then PRMA does, you know, we also have the patient advocacy events and group workouts and, you know, just different educational events and socializing,
Yeah.
things like that. So it's a really nice, friendly community as well that's very inviting for anyone that is at the beginning of their journey, in the middle of their journey, or after.
Yeah.
You know, so it kind of encompasses everyone.
Well, that's great. I think it is very important to have people who've gone through a similar experience to talk to because, I mean, cancer is a heavy subject and it's hard to talk about with a lot of people. So it's good to have, you know, kindred spirits there.